So you want to be a tanker in World of Tanks console? Okay, no problem. But first, there's some things you need to know. This game is not a race to the higher tiers. It doesn't give you a high score for reaching tier 10 the quickest way possible. There is a lot to learn in this World of Tanks, things that will be essential to your success on the battlefield. Vehicle tactics, map strategy, utilizing resources, managing your tank crews. There's a lot of information that'll come at you, and at times it might seem overwhelming. Don't fret. I'm Mobius Y, and I'm here to help. I was a new tanker once, just like you. We all are at some point. These videos are geared towards the new blood for the World of Tanks console version. The kind of new blood that desires to learn and improve, and be the best console tanker they can be. If that includes you, stick around. These tips could quickly give you an edge on the battlefield. Hey fellow tankers, this is Mobius Y speaking. This episode of New Tanker Tips will cover the most basic of basics in World of Tanks console, using the controls. The first time you boot up World of Tanks, it takes you straight to your garage. The garage is where you choose which tank you wish to play in your next battle. It's also where you can change your game's options without having to worry about an opponent shooting you whilst you tinker around. It's very important you familiarize yourself with this game's controls as quickly as possible, so here's some tips on how you can do that. First off, you want to choose a control scheme that's right for you. To do this, simply press the Start button in the garage. Choose Options, and the first window that pops up will be the Controls tab. There will be a diagram of your controller on the right-hand side of the screen, with tooltips indicating each button's action when it is pressed. If you highlight the Controller Configuration option, you can cycle between the 5 available control schemes. Once you feel you've come across one you'll like, you can adjust other settings to cater to your specific preferences. Inverting the Y-axis will reverse your controls for aiming vertically, which is up and down. Having this option checked will cause your tank to aim up when you are pressing down on the aiming stick, and aim down when pressing up on the aiming stick. If you leave this unchecked, holding down on the aiming stick will aim your tank down, and so on. Toggle Zoom changes how the zoom function behaves. Most control schemes have zoom set to left trigger. If you have the toggle zoom box checked, simply pressing the left trigger will switch from a third-person view to a first-person view. Your camera will stay in first-person view until you press the zoom function again. If you leave toggle zoom unchecked, you will have to hold the zoom function, in most cases the left trigger, for as long as you wish to aim in first person. As soon as you release it, the camera reverts to third person. The toggle artillery zoom works the same way as toggle zoom. Artillery has a special overhead view when aiming at a target. Checking this box will toggle the zoom functions just as it would with other tanks. Inverted reverse is a function that can be difficult to explain for some people. If the inverted reverse box is checked and you are holding your movement stick to the right, your tank will always turn towards the right, whether you are moving forwards or backwards. If inverted reverse is unchecked and you are holding your movement stick to the right, you'll find that your tank turns in the opposite direction going backwards from when it is going forwards. The heading and pitch sensitivity sliders adjusts how quickly your camera in third-person view will rotate around your tank. Heading sensitivity adjusts the speed of the camera's horizontal movement, and pitch sensitivity adjusts the speed of the camera's vertical movement. I suggest you adjust these sliders to a level you are comfortable with. Once you've selected a control scheme to use, it's time to test it out and see if it is to your liking. This doesn't mean you'll have to jump straight into a battle and have your tank blown up by your opponents while you're still busy figuring out your controls. There is a safe way to test out your control scheme. From the garage, if you press the back button on your controller, you'll be brought to the Game Mode screen. Select Proving Grounds. You'll notice that the tank slot on the far left no longer has one of the tanks in your garage, but is instead replaced by a Tutorials option. Select them and you'll be brought to the Tutorials screen. These tutorials allow you to test out the various tanks in your garage in a variety of testing modes, but for now, we're going to stick with the harmless ones. If this is one of the first times you've played World of Tanks console, I strongly suggest you try Basic Training. Basic Training will take you through a scripted series of objectives using the controls scheme you've selected for yourself. It's an easy way to familiarize yourself with the controls. If you don't like the control scheme you have, you can simply press Start and choose another one in the Options menu. The other tutorial you can use to test out your controls, as well as the tanks in your garage, is the target practice. This mode allows you to freely drive around the map and also gives you some enemy tanks to shoot at. It's a great way to learn the game's controls. Once you have your controls sorted out, it's time to roll out. You can continue to play in any of the tutorials modes to practice, or you can use the Proving Grounds scenarios to battle against AI opponents to advance your understanding of the controls. That's it for this episode of New Tanker Tips. If you're a new tanker, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you're already a grizzled veteran of the World of Tanks battlefield, feel free to show this to your friends who are new to the game. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.